Okay. You play some instruments?
Yes, I play the bagpipes.
So, irgendjemand Fragen? Jemand Fragen?
Hi, my name's Rod. What's your name?
How was working with Hulk Hogan?
How's Colton, my son? Do you have any children? Would you like one? You could have my son, Colton, if you'd like. He's 23. He's an MMA fighter. I need a psychiatrist. So do you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Questions? I was brought up here for how is your marriage going? Dating questions? Lottery numbers? Are you two married? Why not? Don't care. Do you know who I am, what I do?
Wrestler.
I'm a librarian, that's right. What am I? You're not quite sure? Well, I got more issues than TV Guide. Since you were a little boy, you grew up good. Yeah, in spite of me. Yeah. Hulk Hogan, anybody remember Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Yeah? No?
The blonde guy.
Am I that old? Muhammad Ali, anybody?
Red Hitman Hart.
Bret Hart. Attaboy. British Bulldogs.
The Undertaker.
British Bulldogs always used to put, well, British Bulldogs always used to put sleeping powder in other wrestlers' drinks, and then they would forget and they would walk down nude to the hotels. I've got a lot of kids here. That didn't really happen. Yes, sir. My favorite WrestleMania moment? Whoa. I like slapping Mr. T. I kicked Cyndi Lauper. I didn't know. I was in Madison Square Garden, and there was all these people. I hit Mr. T. He was down. Hogan was down. Muhammad Ali was over there, and I just saw something with red hair come under, and I turned and I kicked it. It's a girl who wanted to have fun. Cyndi Lauper, strew you in, and this policeman with a gun jumped in the ring, and you know, right downhill from there. Piper, you're fired. I've been fired from the WWF 5 times. Some of my great accomplishments. I see you looking at me like that. Serious?
Yes.
Should have caught me like 30 years ago. A lot of miles on there, isn't it? Yeah? So like, what do you do for a living? You don't have a job, do you? Yeah. Yeah. You don't even have a ticket to get in here. Let me see your ticket to get in here. Yeah, it's in the car. You have a car? Yeah. All right. Got towed away. Yeah. Well, you know, you can go ahead and boo my ass. Oh, excuse me. You go ahead and boo me, I don't care. I've been stabbed 3 times. I made a living out of you booing me. I'm the reason Hulk Hogan's got no hair. Do I believe in aliens? Now that I've seen you, yes. I just don't know what to do to make it go away. Is that black thing a nose on your face, or is there other stuff comes with it? Made a lot of movies. Most of them suck. Ever seen Hell Comes to Frogtown? I bet you got a lot of copies of Hell Comes to Frogtown, don't you? Yeah? Are you leaving on me? If you leave, I'm going to follow you. I don't know. You're going to the men's room. I may not. I don't know. It's a clown back there. Am I just supposed to stand up here?
What's the premise of How Comes to Frogtown?
The premise of Hell Comes to Frogtown was that my wife was not going to see it. I was like, so lame. I was the last potent male in the world, and I wore a chastity belt, and I had to repopulate the world, but they were mutant frogs, so I put a bag over their head. It's a big career move for Rod. Put it, the kids, because your kids just... I don't know any kid stuff. I painted myself half black one time. Does that count? Hit a guy in the head with a coconut. Germans are hard to impress. I own a Volkswagen.
Hat jemand Fragen?
Pardon?
Did you hit a fight at SummerSlam 92 in Wembley?
Did I have a fight in Winnipeg?
SummerSlam 92 at Wembley.
SummerSlam 92. Was I there?
I don't know.
I've had over 7,000, let me run it out. I've over 7,000 pro fights. I've been stabbed 3 times, went down in an airplane, 30 car crashes, got electrocuted, had cancer, and been married 30 years. That's the toughest one. Yeah. I remarried her because I'm only 45. But at Winnipeg, yeah, I had lots of fights. None in the arena, mostly in the parking lot, but you know, a lot of fights. You're a big fan? Well, why don't you say something? Go ahead.
What is your favorite Ric Flair funny moment?
Ric Flair? I'm leaving now. Ric Flair is a real pain in the neck. I hate him, but I love him. See, Ric Flair can't keep his clothes on. Could you kids leave? And Ric Flair, you can look this up on the internet, unfortunately. Ric Flair would, like, the airplane would take off and Ric Flair would go in the bathroom and he'd take all his clothes off and he'd put his Nature Boy robe on. And then he'd be naked under his Nature Boy robe. And then he'd serve free drinks to everybody in the airplane. And he sang a song called Dance All Night, Dance a Little Longer. But while he was singing that song, nature was coming out and, you know, getting the nun and the Boy Scout. And the plane landed and they arrested my butt because I had a kilt on. It's a true story. One time Ric Flair got in all the drag. Do you remember Blackjack Mulligan? Do you? You're the only one. Blackjack Mulligan is big Texan. And he got so drunk, Ric Flair. I'm the only one that finds this humorous stuff. He went out and got a person and they put him in full drag, like with you know, mesh skin nylons and a skirt and a wig, and he came back in and he danced with Mulligan for about half an hour before Flair's wig flew off and Mulligan figured out it was Flair. Well, best fight that night. True story.
Jemand noch Fragen?
Was it actually your idea to smash Jimmy Fly Snooker the coconut over the head, or was it a storyline?
No, I don't know. You know, I hit a guy with a coconut one time. I almost killed him. And like people ask me, where'd you get the coconut? Like, I don't know the name, like Safeway, Hank's. What kind of store do you have? What's the name of your produce store here? Give me anyone. Where do you buy coconuts? Are the questions too hard? So I just went to, had them, you see, Jimmy Snuka, he only says 3 words. You know, brother. Hey, Jimmy, how was the funeral? You know, brother. How was the wedding? You know, brother.
Okay.
And I had to do 2 minutes and 54 seconds. So I told somebody to go get some stuff from Fiji. So they got me bananas, pineapples, and coconuts. And I started throwing bananas at him, and I know I'm boring you. I'll get to another flick I did with some chicks in a second, you know. I got an extra brown paper bag. And the coconuts came out, and I never handled a coconut. And they're really heavy. And Jimmy Snuka had like a seashell band around his head. And I just took that as a head protector. And I just laid back and boom, I hit him. And he took down the whole Piper's Pit thing, exposing that we were really in a warehouse and there was 2 meat packers in the dolly pulling on a pell-mell. And let the guy, then I strapped him, and then I wrestled him 40 times and drew millions of dollars.
Hat jemand Fragen noch? Sorry.
The movie Body Slam.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
You watch that one?
Yeah, I have it on DVD.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you throw it away?
You know, I like it too much.
Body Slam with Hell Needham, it had 2 of the toughest pro wrestlers, Haku and Bar. We call them the human vegematics. And we got to throw it in jail every night. But that was good for the director, Hal Needham, because he knew where to get us in the morning. And he brought us back on the set. And I had Flair and Bruno Sammartino in it, but it really sucked. You know, I had Jerk Benedict from the 18. It still sucked. Hard to study your lines in jail.
Hat jemand noch Fragen? Ja.
What was your favorite wrestling moment?
My favorite wrestling moment? Holy cow. Maybe. Like you have over 7,000. They just run together. I've had guys that I don't even remember fighting. But there was one time, WrestleMania 3. It's the largest indoor crowd, I think, in the history of America still to today. 93,000 people. And it was my turn to go, and they had a cart to take you down. And Vince McMahon was here, and like I'm ready to go, and something happened to the cart. I don't know, a technical problem. So Vince is holding on to me and finally, let me go. And I ran down. Holy cow, 93,000 people just jumped to their feet, and I was by myself in the ring. I never looked at anybody. I was always looking at my opponent. And that's the first time I ever looked at anybody in the ring. And it was, even like Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura, the Gov, were sitting right by ringside, and they couldn't hear each other because the people were making so much noise. So that was a special moment because they were telling me thank you. I never got a chance to thank them, you know? I got 4 kids. I left home when I was 13. I slept on the street for 2 years. I used to play my bagpipes to get in youth hostels. And if it wasn't for you guys, I got a wife of 30 years now and 4 of the most beautiful children in the world. And it's because of you guys. Because you guys came and attended wrestling matches, bought all the dolls, bought the stuff, and in turn, I bled for you, and I fought anybody, including Andre the Giant. I'd fight anybody for you. And so it's thanks to you that I have a family. And what I'm doing up here, I don't have a clue. Not a clue, but you know, so my son walks around like that. Can't get him to put his shirt on anymore. Sorry. About it? How are babies made? No? Yes, sir. Got something to drink?
Hello, Roddy.
Hello.
I have a question about the movie They Live.
Okay.
I wanted to know if the street fight you have with Keith David, if that was planned, if that was as long in the script as it was in the movie, or because you were a wrestler, or if you made it up as you got along or something.
Good question. So I hold in the Guinness Book of World Records the longest fight scene in cinema history. And there's this guy, it's called They Live is the movie. And it's coming true, the movie. It's about aliens. And the guy that I had to fight he was like a 220-pound ballet dancer, but he hit like Mike Tyson and didn't even know it. And so as we were doing the fight, he would do camera punches, which means you just cross the line and you miss the guy, but on the way back, he was catching me with some in my eye and my throat, and finally, I just said to him, Keith, said, John Carpenter, come here. Keith, from here down, just hit me, and we'll go as far as we can. So from here down, he just kicked the dog out of me. And we brought it as far as we could, and we did that in 3 separate sections. Then the next day we came in and did the close-ups with things that were more dangerous. But basically, he just beat me up. How do you have a good fight scene? Just get beat up a lot. Yeah. So before we leave, we're giving this woman away.
Do you realize how many people are in the crowd when you get out in the ring and fight somebody, or do you just focus on your opponent and don't see anybody in the crowd?
So, please sit, come here. Come here. Come on up. What's your name?
Frederick.
Frederick. How come you don't have shorts on like that? They're leather. You got what?
Because it's cold outside.
Okay, what's the question?
Do you realize how many people are in a crowd when you are in the ring and fight, or do you just focus on your opponent?
Good question. That's the same, they've got what they call new school now, wrestlers, and old school wrestlers. I was trained just to look at my opponent. I didn't really care if you booed or you cheered or what you did, as long as you bought a ticket. And it was my job to take care of that. Now a lot of days, people will come out and they recognize you, but that's a mistake, because if they're that keen on trying to make you like them or dislike them, then they're not doing their job. And so I wrestled from my heart, which means I needed to get in there. But a lot of guys now wrestle from the outside in. So that's a good question, man. What are you gonna do for a living?
IT.
IT? Is that making tea? What is IT?
With computers.
Oh, computers! Get out of here. What a smart kid.
Okay, letzte Frage noch. Hat noch jemand eine?
These guys were great. You should give a hand to these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, God bless them. They're getting out there killing themselves for you. They're doing great. So you're leaving?
No, I just want to...
Last
okay,
question.
all right. A little insecure up here.
Okay.
Yeah, go
The
ahead.
new style of wrestling, like now, is it better than the 80s or 90s? Do you think it?
Nah, it sucks.
Yeah, but I like more the 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s were more like the fastest gun. Like, I painted myself half black one time because I was fighting this guy. He was the Olympic judo champion. His name was Bad News Brown. I got no racism in me at all. But he was black, and so I painted myself half black. And I don't think you can get away with that now. So it was kind of like the fastest gun. And I just was trying to get into his head. Did a guy with a coconut, kicked Cyndi Lauper. I was going to say I chased Liberace back to his dressing room, but it was the other way around.
God bless him.
And yeah, he was good. Liberace's good. It's just like, there were no rules. I wouldn't let anybody tell me what to do. I wouldn't take a dive. If there was going to be an interview, I would make up whatever interview I wanted to. But then what happened was, it became a public company, and they became more, there's still the greatest athletes in the world, but there's much more control. Like, I don't know, you remember Jim Duggan? Ho!
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, sure.
Ho! Ho! Thank you.
Okay.
No, I'm not finished yet.
Oh,
You got me up here. I'm going to talk for a while.
Okay.
Now what the heck was I saying? Oh! Jim Duggan. I love him, but he was such a pain in the kids, leave. He was such a pain in the neck, because Jim Duggan, I've been going out, and I'd always hide and wait to hear the bagpipes. But Jim Duggan would get in the shower and get naked, and he'd put soap all over him, And then you'd see him coming because he'd run down the hallway going, "Soap monster!" And he'd hug me and then he'd push me out. And there I was in front of everybody with soap suds all over. You don't find that fucking funny. Funny, but that's because you weren't there. What's your name? You're not going to tell me. What's your name? Yeah, okay. A story? Mike? Oh, that's a good name. Hey, Mike. How you doing, Mike? That's short for Michael? John. Mike's short for John. Good. Wrestling Justice. I can finish with one story, but it's really going to gross you out.
All right.
Yeah? Anything to get me out of here, huh?
No, I just want to listen to the old stories,
All right,
man.
this is a true story. Wrestling Justice. Like, we don't have any police. If something goes wrong, if somebody steals money in wrestling, it's a whole different ballgame. So, do you guys remember a Jap, his name was Tor Tanaka, and he played oddball in a James Bond movie, and he threw the hat and cut. Yeah. You guys remember him? Some of you don't? Okay. There was this guy in a James Bond movie, right? In San Francisco, back in the day, like each territory would have a black guy in it, and he would headbutt, and it'd have a Japanese Oriental person. Sorry. And they'd throw salt. And so this one time in San Francisco, I don't know, man. I hope they don't load them.
The next one.
San Francisco.
Is that to get me out of here? Okay, so in I'll finish it. San Francisco, there was this Japanese guy called Fuji, Master Fuji. I come from the school of Master Fuji. So Tanaka came in San Francisco, and he went to the promoter named Roy Shires, and he went behind Fuji's back, and he said, "You use me, get rid of Fuji. I'm hot off the James Bond movie." Fuji brother found out. So it was Saturday. There's no lie to this. It's Saturday, and Fuji says, "Hey, you know, brother," all Japanese people are from Hawaii. Anyway, "You know, brother," he says, "Saturday, you come over, we don't wrestle, I cook for you, we have beers, we watch the football game," soccer. We watch the football game. Tanaka says, "Sure," he brings his whole family over. And Fuji cooks up spaghetti and meatballs and salad, and he gives beers, and they're drinking, and they're watching the football game. They're having a great time singing Japanese songs, I guess. You know. Do you know a Jap song? Never mind. So Fuji says, yeah, it's, you know, PG. Fuji says, "You know, brother, I'm not so hungry, you go ahead and eat." Now come time for dessert. And Fuji had a silver dome with a platter on it, a round platter. And he come up to the table, and he says, "Brother, I have a special dessert for you." He pulled it off, and it was the head of Tanaka's dog. They just ate their own dog. He said, "Now you gotta leave, brother." He was gone in 30 minutes. It's a true story, man. Have a nice day.